College football Saturdays are back.
SEC Nation is in Auburn, baby.
The craziest. He's just invincible.
Welcome to Invincible, the show where we tell the tales of our greatest athletic talents, striving to be invincible on and off the field. My name is Vince Wolfram, and I am so stoked that you're here. My guest this week is a legend on the Auburn Plains. In his 15-year NFL career, this quarterback's worst nightmare was a two-time Pro Bowler, recorded over 1,000 career tackles, and was one of only 7 linebackers in NFL history with more than 200 career starts. He is a book author, he's your favorite analyst's favorite analyst on the SEC Network, and he is the co-host of the Behind the Mask podcast, where the only rule is that there are no rules. My guest this week, Mr. Takeo Spikes.
Yeah, I like the intro, dog. I like it. Good to be on the Invincible. What's up, Mitch?
What's going on, my man? So you've had so much success in media, on the football field, at Auburn, where we are, but I'm going to take it all the way back. I'm going to take it all the way back to Augusta, Georgia, where this whole thing started. Why did you choose football? What was it that got you started in the game?
Well, the game, for me, it started up just growing up in my neighborhood. So the street was like the field, but the sidewalk, or it wasn't no sidewalk, but it was just straight dirt, grass, that was out of bounds. So he threw this pass, and it was like way like out of bounds. So what I did was I went over and I reached my hands out, and I like the toe drag swag. So I was able to get 2 feet in the street. One of the kids said, "Damn, Spikes can play, man. Did you see that catch?" And I was like, "Oh, you didn't think I couldn't play? What you talking about?" So from that point forward, it was like that. I love this game. Like, why not play the game of football? You're pretty good at it. You can catch, you can run. And it's one of the only sports to where you can hit somebody and don't even get in trouble for it. Sign me up. That's what I said I'll do.
All the competitive recruiting process that you experienced, what was it about Auburn that drew you to end up coming to the Plains for college?
It was the timing. 93, Auburn went 11-0. And I was like, I don't know who this team is. And I've heard Bo Jackson went there. But they balling. And I saw them play, and I was like, wow. I was like, man, these guys are balling. But when I thought about guys on the defensive side, I was like, they play collectively. They play great defense. But it really wasn't that one guy who really stood out for me that I thought was dominant. So for me, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go to Auburn and be that guy.
In your Auburn career, you had a lot of legendary games, but the one that sticks out most in my head was the SEC championship in '97, playing against the Tennessee Volunteers team that has Peyton Manning, legends on that team, and you walk away with the MVP of that game. How did that affect your career and your mindset, knowing you were going into the pros?
I had no idea, and I was a junior, Vince. I had no idea I was going to the pros. Even after that game, before that game, I didn't have any idea. I just wanted to play well and be dominant. And that game went so well for me, even though we lost. At the end of the game, I remember them telling me to hold up, don't walk in the locker room yet. And I was like, why? And they were like, you won MVP. And I was like, is that possible? You can win MVP and lose? And then they were like, yeah, like you're only, I want to say they told me you're the second person ever that has done that. And I was like, damn, okay, I guess I'll stay. And so immediately after that happened, I was thinking, I think my work is done here.
You were drafted 13th overall to the Cincinnati Bengals. Tell me about what your draft night experience was.
So it was this old sports bar. And I remember watching the draft, and the Atlanta Falcons had the 12th pick. So they called at number 10, and they were like, hey, if you still there, we're probably going to get you. Would you want to be a Falcon? I'm like, hell yeah. Still remember this. So the commissioner comes up with the 12th pick of the 1998 NFL draft. The Atlanta Falcons select linebacker I stand up like, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. From out of Georgia Tech, Keith Bricken. I was like, who?
That was not Takeo
No.
Spikes.
Oh, man, I sat down. I was so mad. I was like, you should not even call me then. You getting my hopes up. I'm thinking I'm finna be at the crib. And they went to the Super Bowl that year, too. I looked at my agent and I was like, man, who got the next pick? Because I was banking on coming home now. And then as soon as I said that, the Cincinnati Bengals called, hey, young fella, would you want to be a Bengal? And I was like, hell yeah, get me off the board right now.
Immediately.
So, boom, it happened, 13th pick.
And then when you got there, you wasted, zero time. You started every preseason game, every regular season game. And in your time in Cincinnati, you only missed one game. So what was your mindset going in that you decided once again that you were going to be the guy as soon as you walked in the door?
For me, I was like, man, I'm not being a bust. Like, period. Like, I can't comprehend that. So I just worked my ass off. I just said, I'm not going to take any days off. I am going to stay on it the entire time. And whatever happens, happens. And that was my thought process. And that's exactly what I did.
As it's getting sort of later in your career, being bounced around, that could cause some guys to maybe not have that level of discipline, that level of strength that you had. But if anything, you upped yours and you stayed at that same level of intensity. And the teams realized that enough to make you listed as one of the leaders of the team, not just through example. Talk about that.
Yeah. One of the biggest honors and achievement for me was to go to the Chargers my first year and to be nominated as captain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't play with any of those guys, but they saw how I carried myself. They was like, you know what? This is the guy who we want to be nominated as our leader, as our captain. The one thing that I'm really proud of, back when I received my Achilles injury, it was a wrap. Nobody came back from it.
Mm-hmm.
It was only one person who came back to play for an extensive period of time, and that was Dan Marino.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a quarterback, so I was like, that didn't count. So for me, it was like, I'm gonna come back. And it was the hardest thing that I ever had to do, learn how to walk again.
What is like one moment or one game that really stands out in your head as sort of a defining moment for you in the league?
I remember in Cincinnati, we played against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore Sunday Night Football. And I remember a blitz was called, and I came through the line screaming, running. And I didn't even see the running back until the last second. He tried to cut me, but having that relentless attitude, I just jumped over him. And the quarterback was right behind him, and I got the sack. Like, that was a defining moment to where people were like, oh, he's a flash player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he make plays, flash plays. I remember my last game in Cincinnati to where I knew I wasn't coming back, and we played Buffalo. And when I walked out the stadium, the entire stadium yelling my name, TKO. And I'm like, hold up. They still know I'm playing with Cincinnati. But
Not in Buffalo
they
just
were
yet.
recruiting me. Yeah, they were recruiting me because they knew I was going to be a free agent. I had plenty of highlights, man. Plenty of highlights.
So, speed round questions. First one. What app drains your phone screen time the most?
Easy. Email.
Email? I was not expecting. I would have thought Instagram, Twitter, something.
No, Instagram does. But I'm on email more than Instagram. Sometimes I don't even want to look at it.
He's a businessman, but he is the businessman. What is your go-to emoji?
Hey,
it's a classic. Can't go wrong with that one.
You said you were supposed to call me back. It didn't happen.
Not this time. Next, if you could swap lives with anyone for a week, who would it be and why?
The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
The Rock.
Just because there's so many similarities of playing college football, or he still woke up and chased greatness. And so we all know what he's done from wrestling and how he was able to use all of that to propel himself to being the businessman.
If you could have an unlimited storage of one thing, what would it be?
iCloud memory. And it's only going to get worse because they keep making the cameras better. And somebody asked me to take a picture the other day. We get ready to take the picture. They hit it. Do you want to optimize your storage? I'm like, come on, man. Have your phone cleaned up, bro. So that's why storage is so important.
Yeah. Got to get your gallery right. All right. I got one last question for you, Takeo. Fill in the blank.
Right.
Jordan-Hare Stadium on game day is what?
Sensational.
I love it.
From every aspect. From the fan engagement, from the hospitality when you walk in the doors, from the game day vibe, like you can, not only can you feel it in the air, but you can smell it. You know, like it's excellence, man.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's excellence in every form.
Well, that is the perfect way to wrap up. But it was a pleasure, my man.
All right, Vince. All good, man. Good luck to you. And I'm going to be watching you too now. I already watch you, but yeah.
I appreciate it.
Stay up, man.
13 minutes with Takeo Spikes wasn't enough? True. You can watch the full TKO 40-minute conversation between Takeo and I by clicking the first link down in the description of this video, and there is even more awesomeness there. But now, back to the regular program. Cue the music.
TKO! Takeo, thank you for your time. And if you haven't checked it out, a new show on SEC Network debuted recently with Takeo and co-host Alyssa Lang called Out of Pocket. The show will put a bow on the week that was in the SEC and will preview what's to come in the conference that it just means more. Make sure to go show it some love. Now it is time for everybody's favorite segment on the show, the Tweets of the Week. First TOTW goes to Cornhusker Nation, the University of Nebraska's women's volleyball team, as they just set a huge world record. The largest crowd ever at a women's sporting event filled the entire Memorial Stadium as 92,003 fans watched the five-time NCAA champions beat Omaha. Check out this video of the insane environment to celebrate this amazing feat. The second tweet of the week goes to Auburn great Cam Superman Newton because he heard that new head coach Hugh Freeze, the coldest coach in the game, begins the Freeze Watch era ahead of the Tigers' Week 1 matchup against UMass.
Here we are, 2 days away from the most anticipated Auburn football season. I'm ready. Are you? But wait. Before we get things kicked off, let me make sure the weather's right. No, not the heat. Not the rain. Yeah, that's more like it. Bring on the freeze, baby. War Eagle.
I honestly think the more I talk about Hugh Freeze, the colder this room gets. So I'm gonna go get a puffer jacket for Saturday's game, and who knows, it may just never come off. That is all I have for this episode of Invincible. I hope you all had just as much fun as I did. Be safe, get freezy, and I'll see you next time. Ka-chow.